Hi guys, Trish here from Chromatical. I'm so excited about today's vlog. I am doing my first ever video house tour. I used to do house tours in photo form for my old blog, so it's really exciting to be back again and doing it and meeting all these awesome people with all these creative houses. Today I'm meeting Tash from the Colour Tribe on Instagram, who lives in an 80s dark brick home which is completely modernised with art and decor, all modern things, and it's not the typical white home, the typical white modern home. She's completely transformed the way, you know, modern has to be. Let's go in.
Hello, welcome back to 1983.
So good. So you have a real love of Australian art. I can see it all through your house. You collect a lot of Australian artists. What made you fall in love with art and why do you collect it?
Well, the day we bought this house at auction, we actually bought this painting, and we knew we had to celebrate the win with something colourful, with a statement piece that would work really well for our home. And I saw this Antoinette Verwerter piece and knew it was the one, and from there my love of cushions mixed with bed linen, I've been able to pick up so many colours and been able to decorate our house just based from this painting alone, and it's just grown from there.
So many people are so used to going out and wanting a modern house, but you've found this amazing dark brick house, and you know, you've stepped aside from the traditional dream of a bright white modern space and kept so much of this original, or pretty much all of it. Were you able to blend like this 80s magnificent dark house with all your modern stuff and really make it work?
So when we bought this house, it was quite paralysing to walk through and see all the brown brick. It would immediately put a lot of people off. At first, I mean, I have clients that come to my house originally when we first moved in saying, do you want to plaster all the walls? Do you want to put plaster over it? I'm like, gosh, no. I've got 2 young kids, and if anything, this house does more damage to them than it can do to it. We don't have to worry about painting. And honestly, that was one of the key reasons why we bought this home. It's very solidly built, and it's remained that way for over 35 years. And we thought, well, we could just move in and enjoy it the way it is. It's got all the modern features, surprisingly, of a modern home. Underfloor heating.
Wow.
Hydronic underfloor heating.
What?
It has ducted vacuuming.
What?
It has a pantry the size of a bedroom.
Oh my God.
And the storage is phenomenal. So for me, that was one of the key reasons why I bought it. And to add colour to it was really I don't know how I came up with the idea. Perhaps the Antoinette Verwerter painting was such an inspiration to me, because as soon as we hung it, we thought it's bringing the house to life. And being 80s, the era of clashing colours and patterns and textures, I can have real fun in this house, and the colour has only, for me, made it better, and it's made it fun for me as well, because this colour wouldn't work in every home, and particularly the modern homes where you've got to have a sense of restraint because you've got to pick your pieces carefully, whereas with this house I can really go nuts and splash colour everywhere and not feel afraid that I'm doing the wrong thing via trends, because this home has really embraced it. If anything, it's inspired me a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you have kept everything original, haven't you?
I have. I mean, everything is original in this home. We did change the light fittings. This home is very dark at night, and that's probably the only disadvantage to this house. The light fittings haven't made the house brighter, but we did want a bit more of a modern feel. So, you know, you'll see with some of the light fittings, like in our master bedroom, in this lounge room, and in our formal dining area as well, I was able to just update it just a little bit, just to give it a bit more cohesion with the decor that I've chosen and the couches obviously aren't vintage, but it works with our young family. Yeah.
And it also, there doesn't feel like there's a dividing line between vintage and modern, does it? It just all sort of feels cohesive. You wouldn't sort of, there's not a, oh, but that's vintage and that's modern. It just all works.
Yeah, that's right. And for me, in an ideal world, I'd have everything vintage. This home has inspired me to a point where I wish when people would walk through the front door, they were stepping back to 1983 when it was built. However, you know, that's not practical for modern day living. So for me, keeping our furniture, some of our furniture from our previous home, bringing it in here and making it work, but also incorporating a couple of vintage pieces of furniture, like my Tessa swivel leather armchair, which sits beautifully in our reading room, and also our, you know, gorgeous Parker teak dining table in the family room, just allows our home to have that bit of a vintage vibe without compromising modern day living.
You've done a really great job. I love it.
Thank you so much.
So, like me, colour plays a huge role in your life. How do you use colour to influence your style?
Well, for me, colour has that ability to instantly lift your mood. And when I have clients that walk into our house, they immediately smile, and I know why, because all the colour, it's a bit unusual to have as much colour as this, and I must say sometimes it looks like I've spewed up a bit of a rainbow in here, but with the dark house and the way this house is built, somehow it all works, and it just makes me smile. And this house was built in the 80s, where it was all about fun and colour and making the most of it. So why not? I don't take myself too seriously, and I don't think this house takes itself too seriously either, which is, you know, why it works, I think.
Some people can be really scared of adding colour to their house, like they sort of are scared of mixing colours or clashing them, or, you know, does this go, or I couldn't put pink and green together. You know, how did you just bypass all that and absolutely just roll with, you know, you've got cushions that are bright metallic silver mixed with things. How do you sort of make everything just somehow work?
For me, I think the home and the era that it was built in 1983, was a really key component in inspiring me to go, well, red and pink actually do go together. Even though growing up as a child, I was never allowed to wear red and pink, but I've been fortunate with the Australian market in terms of the wonderful companies like Sage & Claire and Kip & Co that have really embraced colour and clashing them together. That has inspired me to go, hang on, well, that can work with that, and this can work with this, and that can work with that part, and, you know, the mustard works with this mustard. I just, you know, for me, I don't see things as having to be too matchy-matchy, because when you embrace so much colour, you can pick up, you know, this little bit with this little bit, that pink here with that pink there. That beautiful great colour just goes with that. And these are different brands, but somehow they're all working together harmoniously. And for me, it's about fun, embracing that fun, not taking myself too seriously, and just having a good time with it. You know, what's the worst that can happen?
I know a lot of people who struggle to find art for their home, especially that first piece, to get over that line. They find it really intimidating. What is your best tip to find that first piece, or just to find any art for your home?
Well, for me, I have a husband and 2 young boys, so there's a lot of male energy in this home, a lot of active energy, and for me, not to sound sexist, but I crave that femininity and that female energy in my home. So for me, it was as simple as coming up with the decision to purchase from only female artists. And not to say that I won't buy from a male artist, but for me to have that female energy on my walls has helped balance our home and just give it that femininity. I crave the pink, I crave the peaches and the colours that I'm drawn to because I want that more of that energy around me. So for me, it started by choosing a female artist, and then from there surfing Instagram, surfing hashtags for Australian artists, following hashtags Australian artists, Melbourne artists because I'm from Melbourne, and then branching out from there. Selecting a size is probably an important place to start. A lot of people will look at a wall and go, okay, I can do 2 prints this size. Bigger the better. If you've got a wall like especially in a family room or in a dining area or somewhere where you're walking into a large room, have a big statement piece. A smaller piece like these sorts of sizes will get swallowed up in a typical family size room. So for me, I've been fortunate that this dining room has been able to house all my smaller pieces, and it showcases them and features them so beautifully by clustering them all together. I really enjoy looking at this when we're sitting here eating, but when I walk into some of the larger rooms, go big or go home, I say.
Well, it's got to have impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And investing in a large piece is like when you're building a new home, that landscaping, the money that it costs to landscape your house at the end of the day, or putting curtains on the windows is one of those things that usually gets left for 5 years later. But considering art into your budget is a great way to make a house a home. So have that in mind if you're moving home. Look at those walls and go, you only need 1 or 2. I'm excessive, so I'm one of the more excessive people. You'll look at my home and go, oh my God, she has way too much.
No.
But it works, and I'm very fortunate to be able to support the art community in that way by purchasing a number of pieces because there's so many walls to fill. However, for your typical style home, I think investing in 1 large piece is definitely more important than worrying about filling every wall in your home.
Totally. Just start as well.
Just start. Yeah, for me, I love walking into someone's home. They'll have 1 big, beautiful piece, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I don't then go to every other room and go, oh, well, that wall's empty and that wall's empty, because that piece has left an impression on me, and it's all about first impressions. So walking into someone's home and having, like I said earlier, the Antoinette Verwerder painting, as people walk in is that first impression for my home, and then when they walk through the rest of the rooms there are other impressions that will you know, make an impact. But yeah, just start with 1. It only has to be 1, and if you love it and you can't stop thinking about it, it's for you. You've got to buy it, otherwise you will regret it. I've been there.
Oh no, there's nothing worse, because they're originals, aren't they? There's not going to be another one of those paintings.
No, there's not.
No.
There's not. And there's some beautiful artists out there. One of my favourites, Kirsten Jackson. She's so accommodating, and she will do an original painting based off another one of her paintings if you love it, and incorporate certain colours. So there are artists out there that will do their best to give you something that they missed out on earlier, which is wonderful. But yeah, you've got...
Well, that's the beauty of art as well. It is one of a kind, and you're the only person that owns it, and that's why it's so special.
I do. I feel so lucky. The painting that I have above my desk where I work inspires me every day. Another Kirsten Jackson piece. I've got 2 of hers, and I'm so lucky to have her work in my home. But I look at that painting and I see something new in it almost every time. Something about those abstracts, the layers that it takes to create such a painting. I'm not very technical. I don't know much about painting the art itself, but I know from a customer's point of view and from sitting back and enjoying it, I can sit back and just look at a spot and go, I didn't notice that pop of yellow until today, and I've owned the painting for 2 years. How does that work?
So cool,
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. When people, I think that there's a few blocks with people buying their first piece, so they know they want a big sized one because they've seen it in the magazines, but they sort of go, whoa, size, like that means cost. So what are some tips for people who are frightened of not just the cost, because it's such a great investment, but you know, so that they can still buy art, still get something on the walls without that fear of overspending or wasting money, of it being like, because they think it's an investment, which it is.
Yeah.
How do people just spend the money on something? Because we don't want them going to those mass-produced
Yeah.
stores and buying something from Harvey Norman or something, you know.
Yes.
How do people get art in their homes by artists and just be able to, you know, start? How do they do it?
Okay, well, I can tell you now, begin with a print.
Yeah.
So whether it's a print on paper, like this Leah Bartholomew piece here in front of me, or begin with a print on canvas, like the Lola Donahue piece that I have, it looks like a painting.
Yeah.
So the Lola Donahue piece, everyone loses their mind over and go, what a gorgeous painting you have. And I said, well, actually, it's a print.
Yeah.
And then you just get it professionally framed. And I have a beautiful framer, Cara, down at Foreman Picture Framing, that does all my framing for me, and she's wonderful. But the investment is not as grand as an original piece of art, but you still feel like you're getting a painting.
Yeah.
Definitely invest in a print on canvas. I can tell you now, the printing technology nowadays, it really is like you're getting an actual piece of art. And there are a lot of artists out there that are now moving towards being able to offer those prints to customers that can't afford that next step up in an original painting.
And they still do hold their value.
Yeah, they do.
They're limited prints, they're limited editions.
Yes.
You know, so
That's right. And there's a lot of the time they're still signed by the artist on the front or the back.
Yeah.
You're getting that certificate of authenticity as well, and you're supporting someone doing what they love. And for me, I love that. I love that, you know, something that they enjoy doing is something that I can invest in and then take home to enjoy for many years to come. Yeah.
It's better to start with a print and then find out if that's the sort of thing that you love. You know, are these the
Yes.
colours that, you know, really resonate with my home? You know,
That's
and then
right.
if it's not, then you can go down a different direction. If it is, you might end up with something like this, you know, because it's spurred on a new passion.
That's exactly right. And because I invest in loads of different colours, and I pretty much invest in all the colours of the rainbow.
All the colours.
All the colours. But the reason why I do that as well is I get bored easily.
Yeah.
I do. I get bored. I can't live with the same piece of, like a cushion, for example, for after a couple of months I get sick of it and I want to swap it out with something else. So investing in colourful pieces of art, okay, maybe not in this room, I don't have any cushions, but certainly in the other rooms where I've got works of art that are colourful, I can then go, oh well, I'm just going to buy a cushion that's that colour to pick up on that colour in that painting, and immediately I'm not bored anymore.
The whole room's changed.
Yeah, and the whole room's changed,
Yeah.
and the mood and everything like that.
Yep.
So for me, that's where the fun is at, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go buy art.
Yes, do it. You won't regret it. You won't regret it, I can assure you.
So good.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of the favourite rooms of the house.
I'm sitting in it. It's the yellow kitchen. Not many homes I know of have a yellow kitchen, but one of the most awesome things is that when people come through this house, and when I say people, I have clients that come visit me, I have friends and family, they all know someone a relative who has had a house similar to this vintage, but the tabletops are green or they're orange. This is yellow, it's sunny, it's bright, it's happy, it makes me happy, it's incredible. So definitely the kitchen is one of my favorites.
And it's original too.
It's original and it's solid. It is in such good condition. None of the tiles are cracked. The grouting is in great nick. The hardest part is cleaning it. Cleaning these tile tops is not easy, but that's a small price to pay for joy and sunshine and happiness. Look at this little guy. How can you not make you smile? It's just cute. I love it.
This is such a good room.
Yes, it is. Colour, which is obviously what I'm all about, but also combining that vintage and mixed with modern. So we've got the beautiful extendable teak table here that was built 26th of November 1969. It's been stamped and I love it, and it suits well with this house. But the clear ghost chairs is an unlikely combination with this table, but this is the hero piece of the room, and for me, I want everyone to see this table. So having see-through chairs, like they don't even exist, allows this table to shine.
That's so clever.
Yeah.
That's so clever.
Yeah.
I love the plants. So how important is it to have greenery in a house?
Okay, so pretty much every Instagram pic you'll see of home decor will have a plant in it now. It's definitely on trend. It's fashionable to have plants in your home, not only for the health benefits of having plants, but in the 80s, everyone had plants in their home. So
Living jungles.
Living jungles, and for me, that's been the inspiration to include. I don't have a whole lot of plants, but I'm definitely building up on it. At our front door, the entranceway where you sit down and take off your shoes, where that painting is, used to be a place where they had plants. So you wouldn't sit there, that little bench seat was off, and it'd have plants in there. So originally it was a plant, garden, I guess. You walk in and see that, and I'm thinking, geez, that would be good to reignite that, but I love the practicability.
Where would you put your cushions?
Where would I put my cushions, and where would my kids sit down and take off their shoes? So unfortunately that's staying as is, but if I can include plants everywhere else, then yeah, it's great. It just adds texture as well, texture and colour.
Yeah.
Welcome to the reading room.
Wow.
Yeah, we call it the reading room, which may come across as slightly obnoxious, but it's not meant to be. It's a great room with high ceilings that we can just sit down and read a book and have a bit of quiet time. We don't get quiet time a lot in our home, but this is the room where no devices are allowed. We sit in here and actually pick up a book and read it.
That's nice.
Yeah. And these green velvet couches, the red
I love
velvet carpet, it's got such a luxurious feeling about it.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It's really rich. Like it feels really
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Look, I love it. And I've got the beautiful Tessa swivel chair there that we all fight to sit over. Because it's so comfortable. It's just such a well-worn piece of furniture that we adore.
Well, can you tell us about the most important art wall of your house?
Yes, well, for camera's sake, we will say it's the most important part of the house. But yeah, we've got a kids' gallery wall here, and it's just, you know what, I really appreciate the work that they've done. I've got 2 boys, 6 and 3, and most of the works that are on this wall are from my 6-year-old who was in kindergarten at the time when he did it. And kids are just about having fun and putting paint to paper, and abstracts was really all he could do. Now he's moved on to stick figures, and you'll probably notice a very inappropriate stick figure that he did in his first week of prep there with him and his mates. But for me, a joy. My kids are quite proud of this wall, and they always point out and they ask me, they go, "Mummy, so which one is your favourite today?" And we go through and talk about each piece and their memories on creating that piece for the wall.
Well, I guess that's exactly what you're talking about with the other wall. It's all about memories and emotions.
Yeah, it is. It's about memories, emotions and joy.
Yeah.
Really, and a house wants to feel joyous. I want to walk in and be happy, and I've been so lucky in the sense with our yellow kitchen, which brings me joy, along with all that colour. I can't deny that, embracing that has, brought a sense of happiness and fun into our home. So,
speaking of colour, your Instagram is The Colour Tribe.
Yes, it is. It's the Colour Tribe, bringing like-minded people to the page. My friends got sick of my personal Instagram account of having pictures of cushions and the home, and I thought I need to create a separate space where like-minded people can come in and tap into the world of colour and how it can be used in a way that's fun. And sure, colour may not come across as sophisticated, but for me, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Embracing a bit of the youth, call it a bit of a midlife crisis if you will, but for me, I've embraced vintage toys and all the toys that I've had growing up. I've brought that into this home to make me feel like I've stepped back into the 80s. It's my favourite era of all time. The music, the clothes, the fun, the colour. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you do have a hashtag as well as on Instagram?
Yes, so I have 2 hashtags, which I don't know if it's confusing for everyone, but I have a hashtag called Crash Bang Colour, which is with a few other hosts. We host that hashtag, so every week we choose the home that's embraced colour in their own unique way, certainly not like ours, but in their own unique way, and they have a chance to be a guest host for that week. And also I've got the Follow Friday Art, which is very dear to me. I came up with this hashtag purely because there are a lot of artists out there that really want to make this their living, and to be able to snap and style a piece of their art in my home allows me to obviously meet some great people along the way, but to showcase different styles of art. I like the abstracts, but not everyone does. Some people like portraits, landscapes, and I want to embrace all of that through that segment.
And to show that it really, you know, art can go in any decor.
That's exactly right. I mean, if you look back on my Instagram, you'll see in this very room I styled a piece of art behind us here of a gorgeous woman, a beautiful piece of pop art that just looked incredible. I nearly didn't want to let it go, but I've got no room for her. But it goes to show that with the right attitude, it can all look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where's some of your favourite places to source all these treasures?
Well, luckily for me, living in Melbourne, I'm blessed with choice, but still those small retail shops really need our support. So I've got, I go to Feathered Arbour in Carlton, a gorgeous team there that sell a lot of the brands that I love, such as Rachel Castle, Kip & Co, Sage & Claire. They have all that colour that I crave, so going there is always a start. We also have Own Little World in Camberwell, a gorgeous little shop just in the middle of nowhere. I love those shops that have maybe just a cafe next door but nothing else around it. And Own Little World has had, I've bought lots of things from there, vases, the odd throw cushion, and candles as well. I also go to Coconut Home, which isn't too far away, and they've just started up. They shared their 1 year anniversary and they have a lot of beautiful things. My cushion obsession, I'm sorry, look at all this, it's crazy. This isn't real life, really. This is a room that doesn't get slept in, so I can really go nuts here and put whatever the hell I want and get away with it. But yeah, anywhere that's got cushions is sort of my second home. So Coconut Home, Feathered Arbour, Own Little World, Montebello Emporium in Camberwell. They all have a similar flavour to me, which is embracing that colour and embracing a bit of fun in buying decor.
So can you tell us some of your favourite artists?
Absolutely. I have a few that come to mind. First and foremost is Tracy Mock. She not only became a friend of mine in the process, but she did this beautiful painting for me named Abby. It has significant importance to me. I always wanted a girl, and it sounds silly, but I have two beautiful healthy boys, and I wanted a female representation of what I felt I missed out on. And this is it. This is Abby. She painted this for me. The only brief was to include colour and a hot pink dot, which is right here. Some of my other favourite artists, Kirsten Jackson. Her colour is phenomenal. It blows my mind, and her work inspires me on a work level, so with creative writing and writing ceremonies, as I'm a marriage celebrant. Really, she gives me a lot of inspiration there. Down here, two beautiful artists there. We have Jessica Hayton from South Australia that did this gorgeous ocean style piece that it's a dream. I lose myself in it all the time. And then this gorgeous, mysterious woman there in the ocean as well, and her name is Tiffany Newfield, and I adore her work and love the use of blue. As much as I love pink, I love blue for the same reason. It gives me feeling on a different level.
And you do have a bit of a thing for Rachel Castle.
I have a big girl crush on Rachel Castle. Sorry darling, I'm not a stalker, but her work is everywhere in my home. Her versatility of art, she has embroideries, she has her tea towels, which I've bought a lot of, but my hero piece is this, an original painting of hers. I have such a crush on her, and you'll see that through everything that I have of hers. Her work is phenomenal, blows me away. Her use of colour is so exciting, it's so joyous, it makes me happy. It actually, I look forward to her posts every day on Instagram. I'm like, what is she going to post? What is she going to post? She has quite the cult following, and I hope that I'm up there in the top 10 of her biggest fans, because her work certainly blows me away.
Well, it deserves to be up there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me today. Your house is incredible.
Thank you so much for coming. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, so good. I think seeing everything in real life, you know, I think, and being able to ask the questions about, you know, how anyone can do things that you've done, you know, buying art, buying cushions, adding a big burst of colour to their house.
Yeah.
I reckon everyone's going to love this.
Oh, thank you. And everyone, don't be afraid to have fun. This is, you know, that's what life's all about.
It's all about fun. Well, I hope to see you again.
Thank you. I hope so too. Bye.
Wow, what a space. For my first vlog to be at Tasha's house, a place filled with colour and all the things that I love, Australian artists, you know, local homewares designers, just was the best. Thank you so much for inviting me into your home and letting me show everyone else around. If you guys did like the vlog, be sure to like, comment and share below. The more eyes on it, the more these Australian artists and brands get you know, a look in and get to be exposed to everyone else, and the more people get to enjoy house tours and seeing all these incredible things that other people do. And also subscribe down below, and you'll get notified of when the next vlog is live as well. And I look forward to seeing you then in the next vlog. Bye!